What better way for a son and father to bond over than their mutual love for the Dallas Cowboys? Hi, I'm Michael Davis with my dad, Mack. We're a star-studded son and dad duo on the star-studded Cowboys Network, powered by Fans First Sports Network and Boom Broadcasting. And this is Dad and the Boys. We avoided some pretty big news. A huge scare came across Monday night as Tyler Guyton, our starting left tackle, was feared to have torn his ACL. Reports then came in that his ACL is intact, but as you can see scrolling down, he does have a bone fracture and will be out 4 to 6 weeks. With the timing of this being late July, we're talking he'll miss the preseason. He'll potentially, depend on his recovery, might miss the first week or two of the regular season, which obviously we have the Philadelphia Eagles that opening night NFL season kickoff. But Dad, and we'll get into another offensive line injury soon, but when I remember it was about a 20-minute swing of we lost Tyler Guyton for the year. What do we do? To, oh my goodness, he'll be here.
Yeah, and the funny thing is Guyton was really putting in the work this off season, and he was doing with Merriweather or whatever his name is in Dallas, the offensive line guru. He was at camp. He was doing getting tutelage throughout the off season by our great Tyron Smith. And one of my personal favorites, he was even there was footage of him sitting there and picking the brain of Nate Newton. Definitely not a Hall of Famer, but in my opinion, he should be. A multiple Pro Bowl player for Dallas, on the offensive line and stuff. And the big thing is he was starting to make those swings. He's reformed his body. And, it was like, okay, we could see him when he was in, shorts and T-shirt. He could anchor and he could do everything that he needed to. But he was starting to show that he was doing it in pads. And a lot of people were down on him last year.
And there's reason as to why. I mean, you're a rookie. You're coming in here replacing one of the greatest offensive tackles in Cowboys history. One of the premier offensive tackles in the NFL for his time, Tyron Smith. And then on top of that, Tyler Guyton was moving from right side in college to left side in the NFL. So that's a double whammy. It takes a year to get adjusted.
And then you got to remember, not only does he have all that going against him, but he also has the past history. You had Tyron Smith, you had Travis Frederick, you had Zach Martin
in his prime,
and you had Tyler Smith, all first-round draft picks. And when they came out, they were setting the bar high as rookies. I mean, they were doing great. Had great rookie seasons, each one of them. So the bar was already set. Like, Dallas, if he was the offensive lineman, he's going to come out and he's going to be a Pro Bowler his first year. Well, all rookie team. Not everybody adjusts to that level. But what you wanted to see in it going into his second year was that, hey, he was taking the steps. He was trying to improve. And just being Tyler Guyton, he can't be the best Tyron Smith. He's got to be the best Tyler Guyton, and he was making efforts to do that. This will set him back. Thankfully, like you said, that it is a less of a severe injury, so we don't look at losing him for the entire year, but we look at losing him for definitely the preseason, which will set him back, but hopefully no more than the first couple games of the season.
Yeah, and that is very good, because if Guyton was out, Dad and I were brainstorming before we recorded this podcast, like, do you kick Tyler Smith out to left tackle? Do you rely on Austin Richards, Hakeem Adeniji? What's your range? And it looks very bleak without Tyler Guyton. especially if we think he can make that stride.
Well, I mean, with them, if he was out all year,
that would be bad.
If he was out all year, then either you're going out on the street and you're probably finding somebody, or you're taking, and hopefully somebody's there, or you're moving Tyler Smith. I mean, point blank, because your depth at guard is a little bit better than your depth at tackle.
You have T.J. Bass, you have Brock Hoffman, you have Tyler Booker, the first round pick.
How weird would that be that, here you were sitting there going, Brock Hoffman's going to be competing for your starting right guard, and then all of a sudden you're having to move Tyler Smith, and now he's your starting left guard. Talk about
for an entire year. And
Hoffman did good last year in relieving Zach Martin for multiple games. So could Brock Hoffman do it? Yes. Again, I think your depth at guard is a little bit deeper than your depth at tackle. Because right now they were trying to figure out who's going to be the swing tackle. You don't want to have to sit there and go, who's going to be our starting tackle for the entire year. A couple games, I think they can, with Awesome Richards and Adeniji, maybe Nathan Thomas comes on. I don't know what Shadiq Charles' capability is to play tackle. I do not want to see Matt Let's go out there. I'm sorry. I like you. I'm glad you're a Cowboy, but I do not want to see you starting at left tackle.
No, especially not. And we're talking about the guard depth, and we mentioned Booker, Hoffman, Bass. Another name we didn't mention, you're seeing it scroll on the bottom, is Robert Jones. He's went by both, Robert. He's not related to Jerry Jones, to our knowledge, but he has broken a bone in his neck and will be out approximately 2 to 3 months. Now, I was very critical of this signing because he was actually rated one of the worst guards in the NFL last year with Miami. We saw the injuries with Tua pile up, and we saw a running game that should have been at the peak for Miami with the chain and the weapons they had, and it wasn't as great. But then Dallas decided to sign him on a 1-year rental, and you know what? Rob Jones is actually impressed in camp and was actually giving Tyler Booker a run for his money, was actually taking first-team reps away from our first-round pick, Tyler Booker. And then this news comes out about Rob Jones. Dad, I'm dropping an article on Fans First Sports Network. It might get posted today. It might get posted tomorrow. But with Robert Jones getting injured, would you have expected him to take that guard role from Tyler Booker? Or could Robert Jones be like that sixth man wherever we need him he could plug into?
I honestly thought he would not be the sixth man. I didn't think he would take Booker's spot. He was taking first team reps. It was a little bit more, hey, Book, you need to correct this. You need to do this a little bit better. Robert Jones was being a placeholder on the first team reps, not to diminish what he was doing, because I think he was exceeding people's expectations when he was signed. But was he going to replace Tyler Booker? No. No, he wasn't. It was just more to try to get Booker to focus in on some of the things that he was not necessarily getting at this point.
It takes time.
And the vet was. He's been around. He started 17 games for Miami. Being a starter on one of 32 teams is an accomplishment. Limited jobs. There's 32 teams, so there's 64 starting guards in the NFL.
Yeah.
Good
math.
Yeah. And he started all 17 games. So, not only does he have that experience and that veteran leadership, but he also has proven that he can typically stay healthy. Unfortunately, he's had this injury. The good thing is, I viewed Robert Jones more as a depth piece Came the same kind of the way I did Shadiq Charles when he was signed. I still high on TJ Bass, and again, Brock Hoffman was, before we drafted Booker, was looked at to be potentially our starting right guard, which I would have been perfectly fine with as well, because Brock Hoffman's he plays with some kind of fierceness. He's got a little dog in him, and that's perfect. That's exactly what you want on an offensive lineman. You want somebody that will sit in there and fight. But he's going to be a depth player, and so I mean, if you look at the time frame for this injury, he's looking at probably November,
maybe. Yeah,
come back
3 months.
So he'll be coming back right about the same time somebody else is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We saw you, Agent Zero, out there.
Overshown, we want you back. But it'll be interesting to see how this offensive line shapes up. Clayton Adams, offensive coordinator, is probably going to do a great job with that. But it's also interesting to find out what the trivia answer was from the question last week that Dad dropped on all of us. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to find out that answer, and we're also going to get my dad's thoughts on some standouts from the blue and white scrimmage next on Dad and the Boys. Welcome back to Dad and the Boys on Boom Broadcasting on Fans First Sports Network. Michael Davis and my dad Mack, and we dropped a trivia question last week, and we'll also cover some blue and white scrimmage here in a few minutes. But Dad, what was that? What was that question?
I'm gonna let you read it, son. These old eyes got. I don't have the specs with me tonight, so.
He doesn't have the specs. I got you. And it was, what Cowboys middle linebacker once had 3 interceptions in a 5-minute span, returning one for a touchdown? And afterwards, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I got stumped on that final question. Didn't get 3 bumps in a row, and I was heartbroken. So much so we don't have trivia questions this episode. But the answer, and I would have gotten this right, is Leroy Jordan. And I was so upset. I was very angry about that, because I would have gotten that on air, and then I didn't. And you know what? It's fine.
It's all right.
It's all right. But, Dad, blue and white scrimmage, what are your thoughts coming away from that? What are your takeaways?
After having a little bit of time to analyze it and watch it and just go back and reflect upon it, I mean, of course, you're not going to see everything. You're not going to see the day-to-day stuff that they're doing in practice. But I came away impressed with a few individuals. And one of those was somebody that I've been really high on. And if Diggs is not back, and it's looking like he probably won't be back for opening week, you're looking at your other starting cornerback along with Deron Bland, Mr. Kaiir Elam, who is having a fantastic camp.
Do you think Kaiir Elam's going to crack the starting lineup?
I do.
And we'll drop a bonus episode this week, kind of talking about Deron Bland and maybe his future with the Cowboys. But Kaiir Elam could save a little bit of money in that regard.
Well, I'm telling you, Kaiir Elam, they've had five out of the first 5 practices. Kaiir Elam had 2 interceptions. He also had one of probably the highlight of camp when he did the Lion King with the little 4-year-old kid over there holding him up at practice. Oh, what an experience for that young man. A lifetime, something he'll remember for his lifetime. Made a great fan moment there. Kaiir Elam has been amazing in camp. I do look for him to break the starting lineup. Another individual. And when I say Kaiir Elam, folks, a lot of folks wasn't high on this signing to begin with, But when he was out there on the practice field, he was not only covering, he didn't move around. He was covering who they put against him, whether it was CD, whether it was
George Pickens,
whether it was Tolbert, whoever. He was covering them, and he was staying right there with them. Now you're not going to win every battle at cornerback, but he showed that he also have a short memory. Because you'd see the offense make a play or two, and then you turn around and the defense make a play, knock the ball out. Maurice Leafau had a great blue and white scrimmage. A couple more, and I hate to keep harping on these cornerbacks, but Kamon Hall. This kid, he's coming out of nowhere. I mean, he's one of those when they put him in the nickel, in the slot, he's producing.
Do you feel like I mean, obviously, like an ideal situation, you have Diggs, Bland, Revel. Those would be your three. Kyer Elam makes it four. But then you have like Israel Mukwamu, Kamon Hall, Kalen Carson, Josh Butler. Some of those, do you feel like Kamon Hall could make this team with as deep as it is?
I mean, last year I was impressed with him, in the preseason.
Yeah, that interception.
Yeah, he had an interception or two in the preseason, and it was impressive. He ended up sticking around on the practice squad throughout the year. I think he's going to be one of those kind of. I'd almost put him on not the level. Please don't go and start any rumors out there in Cowboy Nation. He is not Wanye Thomas, but he's kind of having that trajectory where Wanye, he was a practice squad player his rookie year, took his stuff, hung around. Next year, he started making strides. Next thing you know, he's making a 53 roster. But there's another individual that was out there against the first team making plays. There's been a Booth sighting.
See, I'm
telling you, son, I sat there and I could not believe it with my own eyes. But, I mean, he was knocking the ball away. He was going up against C.D. Lamb. He was going up against Pickens. He was and Tolbert, Turpin. And, I mean, play after play, he was making them. I don't know if
this translates.
Does it translate or not? But, I mean, this was probably the best since he's joined the Cowboys that I've seen Booth play.
Mm.
And, I mean, yes, it was a scrimmage. I get that. Yes, it hasn't even to the preseason. I get that. But what you want to see in practice is you want to see them start taking and making strides. That's it. You want to see them, if they're going to be there, you want to see them making strides. Are they improving? And Andrew Booth was. I mean, he kept popping up on the screen. Now, I don't know if the cameraman had an infatuation with him or what, but he kept popping up on the screen. And, some of the defensive linemen, they were standouts in the blue-white scrimmage, Do
you have a disappointing one?
A disappointing one? And it's not a disappointment. There were several players that really shocked me. Sanders had a really couple good runs.
That is shocking.
Our boy Blue had some good runs. Folks, I'm going to tell you now, this defensive line, if we can stop the run, folks, I absolutely would not want to be the opposing quarterback. You got Dante Fowler. You got Micah Parsons. Them boys can rush the quarterback.
Ezeraku.
You got Sam Williams coming back. Right?
Yep. And Ezeraku. I mean,
oh my God.
The defensive line coach wanted him picked in the first round. And so when he fell to the second round, it was like, okay, we're ready to go.
And they just picked up that kid,
James Houston. But Solomon Thomas is also
on the
putting in a lot of work.
Yeah, and of course our boy Diggy Zua. Mozzie's just got to make those strides. But I'm telling you, Ezraku coming off that side, that folks, and who would have the first interception of the preseason or the training camp? Marshawn Nealon,
of all people.
So I mean, he's having a great camp too. He really didn't. I don't know if the cameras or what wasn't focusing on him as much, but I didn't really see him pop off during the blue-white scrimmage. But Ezraku coming off that side, whew, Lord have mercy. And he's got a first step.
And Dad, you
got a first step.
You talking about this scrimmage just makes me excited for preseason to get here. We'll have the first preseason game Saturday, August 9th at Los Angeles against the Rams. And yeah, I'm glad we get these scrimmages for a little taste, but we'll have preseason and we'll be covering a lot of Cowboys content.
And in fairness, we didn't get to see two of probably our starters on defense out there in the blue-white scrimmage because they had other business to take care of. Three of our starters, and one was on the sidelines. Still waiting on that contract. But the other two, we would be remiss if we didn't go out and give a shout out and say congratulations to Deron Bland and Kenneth Murray Jr., who either welcomed or are in the process of welcoming a child into their home, into their family, and into the Cowboys Nation.
Yeah.
Congratulations, and we wish you the best.
Yep, that'll be awesome. And I'm glad you brought up Deron Bland because we're actually going to be doing a special episode, and we're going to be doing that tomorrow on Boom Broadcasting on Fans First Sports Network. We usually don't do back-to-back episodes, but football season's kicking up. Not only did we have the Tyler Guyton news, the Rob Jones news, we want to talk about the blue-white scrimmage, but we had a contract get signed this weekend, and it was not Micah Parsons. So we are going to cover Jake Ferguson's contract on tomorrow's episode of Dad and the Boys on Boom Broadcasting on Fans First Sports Network. And we're going to talk about, in the famous words of Bill Goldberg, who's next? Hopefully it's a lion about to roar. But that will be on tomorrow's episode, Dad.
Mike Ducey's saying that it'll happen if he's right, he's saying that it'll happen this week.
Let's hope. But let's hope,
Mike, you're right, bro.
Let's hope. But guys,
my boy up for life.
Right?
Give him a 30-year contract.
Hey, lifetime.
Void those last 10, 20 years.
Get a Legends contract like your WWE superstar.
Amen.
But we'll see you guys tomorrow on Dad and the Boys for a special episode Wednesday morning. And for Michael Davis, this has been my dad, Mack. This has been Dad and the Boys. Can we do the Dodgers contract style? No. In trouble. Well, we're going to get in trouble with Chris DeLuca on Dugout Debrief. He'll probably be covering the MLB trade deadline Thursday afternoon. But guys, we'll be back tomorrow morning and talk Jake Ferguson's contract. And who's next? Deron Bland, Micah Parsons, Brandon Aubrey. We'll see you guys next time on Dad and the Boys. Tyler Smith. Remember, this is our first rodeo. We'll catch you here next time.